Yes, we had a nice increase in consumer confidence in August. Actually, I was surprised July didn't go up because we had some good economic news in July, but it was offset by the employment figures. August, we had better economic news. Some of it artificial, cash for clunkers, home buying stimulus plans, some of that. But certainly we're up about 5 points. That's very good. So it's based on the good economic news. Car sales were up, maybe artificially, but they were up. Home buying looks fairly stable right now. The job market isn't as bad. So in general, people are feeling the worst is over. However, most of this increase comes from future confidence. The index has a current component, a future component. Almost all of the index is in the future component. So people are looking forward to the future. They're not very happy right now, but they think things are going to get better. Yeah, I think we can look at this equation two ways. There's optimism and maybe less pessimism. So I think both of those things are taking place. However, I think there's also a third element. We're coming off the bottom, okay? So some of this isn't maybe quite as good as it looks because we're coming off very low numbers. So clearly there is some optimism. I think pessimism is down a little bit, but got to remember, we're coming off the bottom. Yeah, these are pretty good numbers for New York State compared to the nation. We're over 3 points higher than the nation. We have been sometimes in the past, but not often. Generally speaking, confidence in the nation is higher than New York. And a matter of fact, if we look at the current component, the nation is about 2 points higher than we are. However, the good news is we're about 7 points higher in future confidence. So right now, New Yorkers are looking at the future with more optimism than the rest of the country. It's interesting, we do look at all the different demographic groups. So we have young versus old, and right now the young are slightly more optimistic. We look at New York City area compared to upstate. Clearly New York City is way ahead of upstate at this stage, so much more optimism in New York City. And the Democrats are killing the Republicans right now. They're way ahead in confidence. We got a blue state here, we've got everything controlled by the Democrats, and they're feeling pretty good. The one that's really interesting is income. Almost always high-income people are more confident than low-income people. And of course that makes a lot of sense. And if we look at the current component of the index, that's true. High-income people way ahead of lower-income people in current confidence. But when we look at the future, they're almost dead even. And that's an interesting figure. We'll see how that plays out. Yeah, right now, the increase in confidence has not translated into an increase in buying plans. A couple of things are happening here. One is, despite the fact that things are starting to look better, right, the employment figures are not going up. So people are talking about recovery without employment. And the second thing is, income is relatively stagnant. Income hasn't grown. So as a result, people are not going out and spending money. Right now, they're trying to pay down their debt. They're trying to save, they're trying to build up their nest egg that they've lost over the last few years. Now, we ask people whether gas prices and food prices are having a serious strain on their budget. If we go back to last summer, those figures were very high. For gas, it was like almost 80% of the people were concerned about the gas price. That has dropped significantly. We're almost 30 points lower right now. You got to remember, last summer was $4 gas. Right now it's below 3. So the gas index has dropped substantially. The food index has virtually not changed. About 6 out of 10 New Yorkers are concerned that food prices are too high and hurting their family budgets. If we look at everything overall, you got to realize what's happened in the last couple of years. This recession started in December of '07. Since that time, we've experienced layoffs, we've experienced home equity values declining substantially, and people's portfolios, retirement plans have declined. So people have been through a rough time these last 2 years, and maybe we're just beginning to come out of that now.